What if I told you that the biggest thing stopping you from booking that dream trip isn't money? Tariffs, taxes, the rising cost of travel. Yes, it's real, but sometimes it might be just the perfect excuse. The perfect excuse to stay stuck in Passville while our Joy passport collects dust. But here's the real tea. What if you're paying a different type of tariff every time you choose fear over freedom? Today, I'm uncovering the hidden costs of not traveling and how choosing joy could be the most rebellious act of self-love you do this year. Stick around because I'm going to share why travel is more than a luxury. It can be a lifeline. And I'll share some truths that might just change how you see the world and yourself. And I'll give you some insights that might just change the way you see travel. Ready? Let's go. Lately, I've been hearing talk about people putting off travel because airfare prices are going up, hotels are expensive, and everything just around is just getting expensive. That's pretty much how inflation works, unfortunately. But can I ask you a question? This goes a little bit deeper. Are you putting off travel because of the inflation, the economy, or are you rationalizing it? Rationalize your fear to spend money because you think it's not the right thing to do, or you feel beautiful that you're not worthy. Because underneath the it's too expensive or the not now, it's usually because there's fear. That 4-letter word, it rears its head in almost everything you do. So let's talk about what travel can't touch and why travel might just be your gateway to living in now. Nowville, as I like to call it. Hey beautiful, I'm Michelle, your fairy joy mother, and this channel is all about the pips, procrastination, imposter syndrome, and perfectionism. So if that's content that you think can help you, go ahead and subscribe. Please do. I'll wait. Go ahead, subscribe. Thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. Prices have gone up. I've had empty rows to myself. My husband and I had a middle seat between us. Fun fact, in Europe, that's called European business class when the middle seat is empty. But sometimes it's not the economy, it's about our energy. It's the story we've been taught to believe that joy is a reward, not a birthright. That rest has to be earned, and that is so far from the truth. And I want to offer you another perspective. Maybe what's keeping you grounded isn't money, but a mindset. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I had always wanted, it's a bucket list destination, going to the Maldives. I've always dreamed of, those overwater villas we see on social media, that seaplane. But every time I went to plan the trip, it just seemed to be so expensive. Beautiful. The airfare for the seaplane was $950 round trip per person. Yes, $950 for like a 30-minute seaplane ride. But I guess when you own a resort in the middle of the Indian Ocean and the only way to get there is either by ferry or plane, you can pretty much charge what you want. So I finally bit the bullet and said, we are going to the Maldives. We are going for our anniversary. We are going to celebrate everything. It took us almost 2 days to get there because we broke up the trip by spending a couple nights in Paris. But getting there was such a long journey. But once I got there and I experienced the villa and the private pool and just being in such a beautiful location, the cost was worth it. And even though that vacation is over, that time is gone, I still have memories of riding the bikes on the decks and being afraid that I'm going to fall off. These are memories that we always are going to take with us. And that's what travel can do. Regardless of whether there's tariffs, regardless of whether there's high prices, there is something, a memory that, as MasterCard says, it's priceless. So tariffs may touch your wallet, but they can't touch your joy. They can't touch your soul. Sometimes we need that travel to connect with culture, be wowed by beauty that our world still offers, or healing in places that whispers to your soul. So here's a little fairy joy mother bomb. The real tariff or the real risk could be staying home. Why? Because you miss out on so much. You miss out on experiences. You miss out on serendipity. I love serendipity. My middle name is Serendipity. I almost don't like to make plans because when I go somewhere, I just like being caught up in the moment. Of course, I'll have a couple of things planned, but I love the spontaneity and the serendipity that happens when you travel. So beautiful. I have a little challenge for you. I am going to challenge you this week or in the next 7 days. Think of a place that you want to travel. It could be a solo destination. It could be a family getaway. It could be a romantic getaway, maybe even to the Maldives like hubby and I did. But make that decision because your joy is worth it. You deserve more. Don't let the fact that there's tariffs, that there's high prices, that hotels are like outrageously expensive. Don't let that stop you because you are absolutely worth it. And it's time for you to live your joylicious life and step into your JoyGlo season. But if you're wondering how to make it affordable, you can use things like Google Flight Alerts. You can use points like I did. I use some points when I travel. Those things that you have to buy every day, why not make them work for you? You can explore what I like to call high value countries where your money goes further and just go somewhere or find a destination that just sparks joy and speaks to your soul. Travel isn't always about luxury, because I do like luxury, but it's always not about luxury. It is not always about money. It's about going somewhere that feeds your soul, gives you that spark, gives you some excitement, lets you forget about the everyday world and just for a moment, for a week or two, just to be able to absorb all of the beauty of the destination that you're in. So no matter what the headlines say, don't let the economy dictate your joy. It is time for you to live your best joylicious life. Because while prices may rise, your joy deserves to stay grounded. Nowville is calling. Will you answer it? So I invite you to download the Joy Reset Workbook to help you banish burnout, drama, and trauma and step into your JoyGlo season. So if you're ready to book your next travel tip, go ahead and watch my next video, 70 Solo Travel Tips. Yeah, it's long, but it's packed with information I know you are going to love it. So go ahead and let me know in the comments, what is your next adventure? Where are you going next? Until next time, smooches.